So you have to be clever. Okay. So let's finish the lesson plan of the first book. As I told you, you will have similar lesson plans, not as detailed as this one, but brief one, inshallah, you will have in your teacher's guide, inshallah, which can teach you. So as you see, the lesson, the book is only a guide. In the same way that the teacher is only a guide. And you have to activate all students in the process of learning and teaching. The process of learning. So this is one of the main ethos and principles of this series. That's in Islamic education, the book is only a guide. The teacher is only a guide. You have to give some directions. It gives you some clues. It has given you some clues and directions to be as creative as possible, as indirect, as attractive, as engaging, as interactive as possible, inshallah. So let's finish this one. So apart from the innovative ideas, we have some preparation activities. For example, it is recommended to invite all parents, considering the local culture as well as facilities and possibilities. You may make changes to the classroom. For instance, you may use colorful pieces of paper and ribbons, twinkling lamps, and posters adorned with verses of the Quran. Gift wrap the Quran textbook and distribute them together with flowers among the students. Ask a beginner or another students from open levels to recite a small chapter of the Quran, small surah of the Quran at the beginning of the celebration. Ask a group of students to sign a beautiful song, nasheed about the Quran. Provide the students with means of possibility, with appealing gifts like flowers and stationery. Take the opportunity to talk with the parents somewhere else about the introduction to the Quran textbook, or at least encourage them to read the introduction. If possible, shoot a film to take pictures of the celebration, and later distribute the CDs and pictures among the students. If possible, have a performance about the significance of learning Quran and divine satisfaction with such great undertaking. It would be a good idea that the teacher attends the celebration as well as the sessions with a flower on their clothes. So we've got some other, this was the play that we did, and also the rest. So similar to this, and then at the end, this was a lesson plan of lesson 1. As I told you, 2 things are very important: asking questions at the beginning of the lesson, number 1. Number 2, storytelling, creating nice stories, imaginary stories. Sometimes it could be the stories of the Prophet. In the stories, you can give life to, you can animate and give life to the objects that don't have life. You can talk by the language of the tree, by the language of stone, by the language of mountain, by the language of birds. It's okay. So there's a scholar who's amazing in storytelling. Some brothers, they know that his name, Ajwarastku from Iran. He was my teacher in how to teach Islam to children. He's got many DVDs and CDs in Farsi, not in English, on how we can train our children mainly with the use of stories. And he's got a good point. He says that Quran has loads, hundreds of stories. Some of the stories have been mentioned fully in the Quran, some others have been mentioned very shortly. But you can expand on the stories, elaborate, rephrase, rewrite, retell, put it in a very good way. Story is one of the best ways to make your Sunday schools engaging, attractive, fun, learning. And don't say the message of the story at the end. Let them conclude. You don't need to say, okay, what was the message of the story? What we can learn? Let them conclude. You can say, okay, this is what we learned, but don't say, okay, this is the message. So, put in a very nice way. Even sometimes you can ask them to contribute to the process of the story, but at the end, let them conclude about the message of the story themselves. So this is only one book, one lesson of the first one, and these are some ideas. And if I were you, I would make at least 2 stories. One story for saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim at the beginning of some actions, at least some actions. So this is, instead of saying, oh children, it's good, it's nice to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim at the beginning, instead of that one, put it in the form of a nice story. Yes, nice story, imaginary stories. Other one, I would prefer to tell a story about the Quran and how the Quran is important to us, how the Quran has been long read and recited by our forefathers, by our parents, by us, how it has been respected, how it has played its role. And again, all of these theoretical, conceptual things should be implemented and incorporated in the form of stories. So, this is one book, as well as books. Let's go to book 2. In book 2, do you have book 2 or not? Let me use my own book. Thank you, put it here. So in book 2, okay. So, can you distribute book 2 among people?
We have only 2.
Okay, give it to people. So which age is this book? Which age is this book? 7, 8. Yeah, 7, 8, no more than 8. Yeah? 7 or 8. This is the best age for this book. 7 years or 8 years, boys and girls. So same with this book. So if you quickly go through the book, you will see many things are there. And by the way, I told you that these books, they have aqaid in them. Some sections are mainly aqaid sections. Some sections are mainly ahkam sections. But the good thing is that even in the aqaid sections, you got ahkam in it, you got akhlaq in it, you got Quranic message in it. That's how we call it a holistic and inclusive or comprehensive approach. Let's go to lesson 3. Please bring page 20. Is that page 20 in that one? Because my version is a bit different from yours. If I like this, I can look this one. There's a book here for these brothers. You have only 2, yes, Abba?
Yes, sir.
No more than 2.
No. We can put on, shall we put on the projector?
No electronic?
Yeah.
Yes, go on. Yeah, go on. So can you put?
Yeah.
Bilal?
So, again, this book is one of those books, this lesson is one of those lessons that you are teaching history, you are teaching one part of the life of Bibi Zahra, Salamullahi alayha.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And also, you are teaching akhlaq, you are teaching aqa'id. You will see all of these elements in this one. You are teaching aqa'id because it's the concept of dua, how to relate to Allah, how to talk to Allah through dua, through prayers. You are teaching social issues. I will teach you how, what element of the book. And also there's a good use of image and visual things in the book. So, can you bring over the lesson? So this is the lesson 3 of this book for 7 or maximum 8 years of students. It's a very simple, but the good thing is that the story has been told, is being retold. So lesson 3, yeah? Yes. So the story now is being told. Is this book 2?
Yeah.
Book 2, yeah? Go, yeah.
Next
Go.
one, no,
Go, yeah, this one, yeah? So can you make it visible, the whole lesson, not this part?
it's okay, but we can see that.
Oh, no, I wanted because of the all elements of.
Go full screen or zoom out.
Can you show 2 pages like this? All of these 2 pages of Vela? 2 pages you can't, no? The moon was gazing at the earth from the height above, and it was a house glowing. Inside, a boy and his mother were awake. With her hand towards the sky, the mother was praying in the moon night. The little boy could hear his mom's prayer, and quietly he said, Ameen. O Allah, heal and cure the ill. O Allah, help the poor. O Allah, guide all to the right path. The boy asked, Mom, why don't you pray for yourself? The mother stroked her son's head and replied, My dear son, we should pray for others first and then for ourselves. It was Hazrat Fatima, the Prophet's daughter, praying for the neighbors and friends, and her son, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, said, Ameen. The moon thought to herself, such a beautiful poem, such beautiful prayers. So, this was a story. The good thing about this story, you know this story. You have heard, I know all of you have heard this story, that once Bibi Fatima was praying, but she was praying for the friends and others and neighbors. Imam Hassan asks, why are you not praying for yourself and for ourselves? And she would say what?
Al-jar thumma
Al-jar thumma ad-dar. First neighbors, first others, then us, then ourselves. Famous one. This is in Wasail al-Shia, in volume 17 of Wasail al-Shia. This is a hadith, the story itself. We have it in Wasail al-Shia, one of the main books which has been written by Shaykh Hur al-Amidi, one of the main sources of the Shias. Authentic hadith, authentic story, but has been rewritten. Has been rewritten. So, look at the elements. First of all, look at the title, Memory of the Moon. So the story is being told by the language of the moon. Even I told you that you can give language and life to non-living objects. Yeah? Fine. So the moon is saying, it was midnight, the moon was gazing, and then at the end the moon says, the moon thought to herself, such a beautiful home and such beautiful prayers. Number one. Number two is even the picture. For example, you see sometimes you don't need to quickly go through the story. So to direct the attention of students towards different elements of, for example, simplicity of the life of the yes, the way, the lifestyle of them. So many elements you can highlight the objects that they see in their house, in the picture. So, what you can do with this lesson? Very simple lesson. Of course, it has some activities. 3 ones, 2 pages, it has some activities. But this is the main message and main lesson of. So, what you can do with this one? Can you give me some ideas that how we can start teaching this lesson? We haven't reached the activities of the lesson. But this lesson itself, how you can start teaching it? Well, let's start in this way. What are, in your understanding, what are the objectives, the educational objectives of the lessons, of this lesson?
How do you love your community? How do you love your neighbors?
Excellent. One is that, yes, being careful of community and neighbors and others, yes, not to be selfish. Excellent, yeah, not to be self-centered, yes. To be careful, to take care of others, of neighbors, of people living around you. Yes, good. This is one lesson which is more social. Yes, social and moral lesson. Yes, what else?
The prayers itself.
Dua itself, the importance of dua. The importance of dua and the way that dua is one of the ways that you can talk to Allah. Oh Allah. What else?
I was in etiquette of dua. Best polite. You talk about others first before you pray for yourself.
The etiquette, yes, the etiquette of dua, excellent. And the way, look at the du'as. Oh Allah, help the, oh Allah, what is the dua? Oh Allah, cure the ill, yes, help the poor. So simple du'as. This is another one. Simple language in dua. We have this, you know, these are all founded in the Islamic teachings that put your dua, your request from Allah in a very simple language. Ask whatever you want from Allah. Even Allah says in a hadith to Prophet Musa that even for the food of your ghost and your sheep, ask it from me. This is how dua is emphasized. Ask it from me. Allah says himself to Prophet Musa that ala fi shatik. Ala fi shatik means that even for the food of your animal, you can ask it from me. Simple language of the dua. What else? Now you mentioned no objectives. You're mentioning some delicate points, like the simplicity of the language of dua. What else?
Probably that the child will be learning etiquettes on when the mother, the parents.
Yeah, for example, even the mother and child being together, the child being with his mom when mom is praying. And look, what else? What else?
I think in this story, first we teach a kid a good story. We're not telling him or her.
Okay.
It is a Fatima or Imam Hassan. First we showing an interesting story of one moon is dazzling, is shining, blah, blah, like that. We showing trust.
Okay.
After that, we say to her or him, lesson, what is the lesson of the story? That was our prophet's daughter, and it is prophet's son. Like
Good. In most of the cases, you don't need from the beginning to say, for example, Bibi Fatima or Imam Hassan or Imam Ali, once he was going, you don't need to mention, for example, that it's Imam or Bibi. No, you can tell in a very neutral language, a man was going through, for example, or doing this. Then at the end, you know who was the man? It was Imam, for example, Zain al-Abidin, or it was, or she was this. There's another one, yes, which is, you know, you can use a lot of these techniques in the story. Another one, look at, for example, the etiquettes of du'as. It was what? Even the lesson is teaching you the time of du'a. What is one of the best times of du'a?
Night time.
It was past midnight. Past midnight, early morning. So very delicate issues. All of these sentences have been put with that delicacy, with that accurate attention. Yes? So, all of these are important things. But the main objective of the lesson is, number one, is to reinforce, re-strengthen the sense of love of human being to Allah. Mainly through dua. Introducing dua as a simple and as an easy way to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last one is that when you want to connect to your Lord, between you and your Lord, it's not only one line, you and Allah. It's you, Allah, and
Allah's creation.
others. Bibi is mentioning others.
Others.
So it's a triangle. It's not only you and your Allah asking him selfishly, for example, to do something for you. No. You remember others. You bring others into your communication between yourself and your Lord. Do you know what I mean? So this is another one. So these are the main objectives of the lesson. So but you don't say in this way to a child that, you know, if you want to communicate with Allah, bring others into your communication. They don't understand what you mean by this. But in the form of a story, you can put it. Even you can add some elements to the story. You can remove some elements from the story. You can have another story for this one. So this is the main objectives. What about the start point? How do you want to start this one? How you can start this lesson? Give me some ideas that you can start the lesson.
I think it's best for one.
Sorry?
I think it's best for one.
Which one? To tell the story?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need quickly to go to the story. Sometimes you need to prepare them for the story.
To discuss
For
about
example, to discuss what?
about the image, first 10 minutes.
To discuss about the image, one, yes. But we can say what kind of discussion. To discuss about the image. You can show only the image and only the image, yes. So what do you see in the image? Look, when you are discussing the image, three things are important. What you have to ask the students, what they see exactly. It's precise things in the image. And then what is the relation of different objects in the image to one another? This is number 2 question. Number 3 is that what this picture is trying to tell us. What the picture is trying to tell us. This increases the level of creativity of children. And this is also one of the good things that you can prepare them for this story. Apart from this, discussing the image or the photo or the picture of the lesson, what else?
Maybe you can encourage them to read a little as well.